Hello and welcome back to the channel, my friends. Welcome back to Meet Us Munich. So glad to have you back. So a lot of the times we talk about entrepreneurship and about consultancy, but what about science and academia? Well, if you want to go into science or academia, or maybe think about, hey, I've never thought about doing this, but maybe it's the right fit for you, then there is a scholarship program for you. So I'm talking about the Junge Akademie from the Technical University of Munich. So it's TUM's scholarship program for exceptionally talented and dedicated students. So if you want to find out who exactly can apply, how you can do so, what the scientific project work is all about, and what additional perks you get from them, then definitely stay tuned for the video. We will cover everything. Now, it's basically the scholarship program, as I said, for everybody, and it, in their own words, trains members to act as open-minded, responsible and reflective individuals who provide constructive and responsible impulses to society by applying their intellectual potential. Now, it's kind of their goal to really confront students at a very early stage with kind of difficult problems so that they can kind of think in teams really how you can solve them. They go beyond kind of, okay, this is the formula how you solve a problem, but like it's a new problem, how do you go about this? So it's a really 20-month scholarship, and they really kind of try to bring scientific research closer to students, because I feel like, at least for me in my study in the bachelor, it was really the case that you didn't have that much contact points with research, and then kind of doing a doctorate really may seem daunting, but they really try to, by providing and just kind of guiding you through the process of scientific tools and methodologies, and also this incredible network they have from professionals, partners, students, research departments, and alumni to just kind of really position you and just help you along that journey of maybe doing also your doctorate and just kind of pursuing a career in academia. So something which surprised me is that not only TUM students can actually apply, but also their partner universities, which include the Academy of Fine Arts in Munich, or in German Akademie der Bildenden Künste München, the University of Television and Film Munich, which is the Hochschule für Fernsehen und Film München, and the University of Music and Performing Arts. So if you're part of any of these universities or know somebody who is, then definitely tell them about this opportunity, because I feel like that's something you probably did not know, and that's really mind-blowing that these can also do, and then therefore you can also mingle between these universities, which is rare the case actually. So let's talk about the project phase, which is kind of at the core of everything of the scholarship program. So the topics of this project phase are actually proposed by the scholarship holders themselves, and they are interdisciplinary, and throughout the whole process they are accompanied by supervisors, which are either active or retired professors, and tutors who help them both professionally and personally. Now, topics, if you look at them online, there's like every time like a report and different insights on this, but there's really a variety of things, from how to do healthy habits up to simple language. So there's just everything really. So the project is really carried out in interdisciplinary groups. So there is a kickoff weekend where the kind of basic ideas of the participants of the respective year are discussed, and then the most popular ones are fleshed out and then developed further by the members, advisors and professors. Now, every member is free to join whatever project they feel the most drawn to, and this results in kind of 3 to 5 projects per year, consisting of around 7 members of all different disciplines. Now, how do you go about this? So this really, as it is about scientific work, at the beginning you have a hypothesis underlying, and then you develop and test it with scientific methods, and that may sound a little bit scary at the beginning, but I feel like it really shouldn't be, like, especially if you're working in a team, and then you have also supervision, you have really all the support you could possibly need, and I feel like this is a very neat way to kind of get into scientific work. And yeah, I myself just really like working on scientific topics in teams, so this is something I find very interesting. So then they kind of derive in a subsequent step the ideas for implementation from this research results. And these oftentimes have very high practical relevance. So for example, the one on healthy habits was really about the notion that, hey, we all know what is healthy for us, you know, in terms of diet and nutrition and exercise and just so many things, and then, but actually keeping these habits of sleeping well, of eating the right things is just incredibly difficult, and how can you support somebody along the way? So I find this really approach of looking at it from a scientific angle based on scientific evidence, but then also thinking about how does this translate into practice, very, very fascinating. So overall, a big topic in academia is obviously financing, and the TUM Junge Akademie really supports all projects financially and ideationally. But this is actually not all. There are also workshops, networking opportunity, and other leisure activities. So in terms of workshops, there are different ones which are about, for example, project management or time management, but also about scientific and journalistic writing, which are very different pair of shoes really, or about communication and presentation skills. So there's just a lot about kind of how do you enhance your skill set as a person. And then there's also networking, which means that at the beginning you're really part of a vibrant community, and they're really a mix of active professors, the TUM Emeriti of Excellence, and young researchers, and then there are different cultural events, and just kind of there's a lot of kind of opportunities for you to exchange. And that is just, I feel, very interesting, because you can then also go beyond your field of study and just kind of talk to all these individuals. There's also another one which is called the Academy Dialogue, or the Akademiegespräch. And this is very, very interesting, and it's kind of basically all about talking to people from industry, I would rather say. So it's about company founders, DAX board members, and other fascinating personalities, and you're just kind of in a very informal and small setting, and you kind of get to really engage with these people, and that's very, very interesting as well. So it's not only about research and kind of the academic perspective, but it's also about you as a person, with the business perspective, with the kind of how do you develop as a human being perspective. And then there are also leisure activities, so that means that you can engage in culture, sports, entertainment, and there is a lot of them in cooperation with other institutions from TUM. And so there are different ones. So there are, for example, regular tables once a month. There are running in English Garden, or kind of boat race in the Olympic Park, hiking, water skiing, running, climbing, arts, so different performances from theater to ballet to visiting Supernova Planetarium or a guided tour of the brewery. There is so much going on. They have really a lot of events. And so I feel like the question now here is, okay, this is like this incredible offering, so what is actually asked of you? I mean, besides the fact that you obviously need to do your project work, there's also another commitment, which is kind of the task forces of the TUM Junge Akademie. And this really reminds a little bit of the student initiatives, which need to organize themselves, and the TUM Junge Akademie just really gives you kind of the opportunity to shape how this program is evolving over the years, and you can kind of really contribute with your own ideas, your personal talents. Now, you will really acquire skills by working on these task forces, and so every twice a month you discuss the progress in your respective task force, and then you also plan your future activities. And this is just also a very, very important part of the scholarship program, so something you may keep in mind as well. So overall, there are 7 task forces. So the first one is called the CAP, which is the Task Force Contacts, Alliances and Partnerships, and it's all about generating funding, establishing a network and maintaining the network of partnerships and scholarship holders, alumni and companies. The second one is called Events, which is all about these incredible events and just kind of getting to know each other and just offering that. The third one is called International Corporations, and it's kind of really about enabling that exchange from international universities which are doing similar projects to the TUM Junge Akademie. The fourth one is marketing, which is about, you know, having that brand recognition and just kind of increasing that outreach. The other one is mentoring, which is all about this one-to-one mentoring program, which you then organize. The other one is recruiting, which is all about kind of active members and the application process and how do you get the right people. And the last one is symposia, which organize the final event of the year, and it's kind of the yearly symposium. So as you can see, the task forces are really incredibly widespread in terms of what you can do. And so now the question is, how do you join? Well, there are actually 2 ways how you can join. The first one is that your dean or the deans of studies of the faculties, they nominate students for the application for the TUM Junge Akademie. So you can be nominated by your dean, or you can also apply proactively with the recommendation of a professor. So it's not all about the achievements, but it's also about kind of your personality and what you bring with you. And you can send them your letter of motivation, CV, transcripts of records, essay, and if you, as I said, if you're not nominated, then also a recommendation letter by a professor. Now, I hope you liked this little insight into what academia can be like for students and the TUM Junge Akademie, and follow me for some more educational content. Until then, all the best.